Hello everyone, it's Agnes coming to you with a hopefully super cute Christmas project. I've done this project on a mini scale for my gnomes, but I've never done it with the in this size. So why don't we just go through this whole process before I show you the pair of it. So as you can see is I do have a water bottle, and I had plenty of those in my recycle bin. So I decided to put them to use and see if this is going to work. So what I'm doing right now is just simply cutting the portion where the cap is, and now dividing my bottle into halves. Thinking that, not really halves, two parts, let's put it this way. So I do want to keep one portion a little bit lower and the portion where sort of like the leg is a little bit higher. Okay, so now all is cut, and I think I'm satisfied with this. So now it's time to glue this right to my cardboard. I've glued it to the cardboard, sort of imitating the style or maybe the form of a shoe. So now I'm just simply rounding off the front and the back of my cardboard. And that's it. And I think I am having, my shoe actually looks pretty good. So, okay, so now it's time to cover the shoes. In the past, I used to use the toilet paper, but I've decided this time to use the book pages because it's going to be maybe easier. So all what I'm doing right now is just adding the Match Patch all around and trying not to have too many of the small pieces. I'm just trying to cover each portion of my bottle that I cut out with it. And it's easier. I feel it's much easier. Of course, you could use toilet paper, paper towels, whatever you have handy if you do not have it. But sometimes, and I think in the future, I am going to be actually leaving my boots just with the book pages because they actually look super cute. So it takes a little while, but just notice that as I am putting this all around, I really do not worry how, between the connection, about the connection between the bigger and the smaller portion. Just because my, the bottle, the Poland Spring water bottle is super thin, so I decided to add a couple of coats. But it is up to you. When the book pages dry out, and especially covered with the Match Patch, everything is going to be much thicker. But I did not want to risk it. I just wanted to try how all this works. So as you notice, I'm adding 2 coats, and I'm of course trying to Match Patch it all around. And I've noticed that as I am adding my the book pages, that the portion where the leg is, I do not know, the sleeve, it is actually too short. So I would have to wiggle my way out when I go later into the decorating of that boot to sort of build it up. But I'm learning, and I hope that I am showing you some pointers. And of course, don't tell me that I did not come to work prepared. I did. I do have an idea, and I do not like to have scripted craft. So here is my final coat. I'm going to completely soak my entire boot with the Match Pad just to make sure it's sturdy. And of course, tuck it all in so no bottle is really showing in there. And I have to now figure out what am I going to do with my heel, because I do not want my cardboard to really showing. So my goal here is just simply go either cut more of the cardboard or use the foam board that I have leftover pieces of and cover and created so-called mini heel to it. I promise when this project will turn into blog post, I'll have it all templates for you ready to print out if you choose to make it with the water bottle for you to have stress-free craft. Of course, I'm not a shoe designer of any sort. I'm just trying to copy. And I have to tell you, my daughter actually was calling this shoe as I was making it that I'm making Uggs. So, that makes me feel good. I made Uggs for Santa Claus. So now look what I'm trying to do. I am just cutting the squares and I'm going to simply glue them together and try to create that little raised up portion on the back, not too high. Don't forget to cut this additional layer of your bottom of your shoe before you glue the heel, because it is going to be not easy to cut through 3 layers of it. So here we go. I'm hot gluing it all around, making a sandwich out of this and gluing it right to the back of my boot. To tell you the truth, I'm looking at myself right now when I put the voice over the video. I am actually laughing, and I would for sure wanted to see the creative process, how the shoe become, comes into life in the designer's heads. This is actually super fascinating thing. Obviously, I wasn't really worried here about the style. All what I wanted to create the boot, and I hope this is not going to turn out into the rain boot. Few adjustments here and there. I cut my heel too wide. I think I'm spending too much time on my heel. I'm just trying to make it look fashionable. I think decision is made, and then I'm just going to glue to the back of it. Oh, and it does look super cute. Well, let's hope that whatever I'm going to do on the top of it. So there are so many options to cover. Either you leave it the way it is and you slightly paint it. Look at this, how cute that boot looks. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that my Mod Podge is dry, because I was still going all around with it and, trying to make sure that I do have a nice solid, body to my boot. So now I did want to originally cover with the red fabric or green fabric to create the little Christmassy stuff. But you know what? Since I did not do that on that scale, I decided to simply put my burlap to use, since I do have a lot of it. So I've cut the burlap into sort of not really in half, it's like in a portion. And my goal was to cut in the height that I would first worry about the front of my boot, so I don't have to really do much of a pleat. So because I do not want to cut later in between the bigger portion of my boot and the taller and a shorter portion. I really hope that makes sense. So of course I need to plan. I should have actually do my cuts and my gluing ends on a little bit closer to the heel, but that's fine. This is a learning process, and it seems like it does work, but that's how I figure out my height. So now everything is glued, and now it's time to make a nice fold in the front. Of course, there could be another details you can go for it, but I just simply went for the one that it was the easiest to do. So now I'm going to create sort of rounded off on one side square and install it right on the top. Of course, you can embellish this, put some stars on it, but we are right now going into prototype mode, just trying to see if this is actually working or not. So it does. I'm going to add a little bit of the hot glue right in the front of it, and I have a super clean look to my boot. So now let's move on to the, actually my favorite portion of the whole thing is actually decorating this. So I'm going to use the piece of the fur, since I actually took it out to make some gnomes, any day. But I think that's going to be a nice edging. And notice the way I was cutting. I was cutting on the left side. And if you do that, you are not actually cutting the hair. You're just only cutting the backing of it. And of course, now it is obvious that my piece of that my back portion of my boot is too short. So now I have to make it up and use the remaining piece of my burlap to see if I can build up the inside of it. And it seems like it may actually work. So instead of putting it on the back where I'm going to have again another cuts and exposed, I decided to simply tuck it inside and hot glue it on the inside of my boot to have that nice clean edge. And of course, then I'm going to be able to install my fur to it. But before we go and finish the whole boot off, I would say that we do need to find some kind of, I need to find some kind of edging for it. Originally, I thought I'm going to just simply paint it black and it's going to have a nice, trim. But then I changed my mind and I decided to use the twine. Even though I was in between my satin ribbon, but twine will be easier. I just do not want to overdo it. So I'm going to end my twine right on the back of my heel and not going to really worry about the really bottom of it. I just wanted to have a nice finished look just for this project, on the outside to look good. So here we go, that this cut is made and now it's time to install the fur. Little bit of the hot glue here and there, and I think I am done with this. I'm not going to fuss it up, and it does look like an Og. Now I know what my daughter was talking about. It is not really showing much of a profile of a boot, but you know what? I know it's there, and I know maybe in the next one I'm going to create the fur trim a little bit smaller than I did in this one, but I just did not want it to keep gluing. Okay, so a little bow here and there, a little bit of the pine cones. I'm not going to really bring the jingle bell in there. We're just going to keep it classy, maybe not as Christmassy, but you know what? We're still going to bring some elements of Christmas. And again, I know I'm not done in this whole journey. I know my gnomes finally are going to have shoes, and I cannot wait to make one with you soon. So if you do love gnomes, I know you are going to be happy to watch video, or maybe actually I'm going to do it live with you all. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit of the greenery, a little bit of the ribbon, and that's it. And I'm going to just glue it to the edge of my boot. I absolutely love this tiny little accent right on it. So let's look at the picture from the close-up. So here is my boot. It does look super cute. I mean, it's again, as I noticed, as I told you earlier, I would need for sure cut my fur a little bit shorter, but it's super cute. I'm going to have a nice place to put some gifts in there, or maybe some trees. I don't know. Christmas is, not here yet. So I really hope that you did enjoy this quick craft, and I hope that I inspired you to make one for yourself. Okay, so if you enjoyed it, please sprinkle that for me, and I'll talk to you later tonight. Bye.